Captain, incoming message from television control.
What is it, Ensign?
According to reports, the Clangers are coming back to TV.
Excellent. Set TiVo to record.
Hello Mousers, by now you probably have heard, if you've been looking at the news, that the Nobel Peace Prize didn't go to President Assad of Syria, and he seems to think that it should have. Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't launch any chemical weapons, and I'm pretty sure you guys didn't. I've not met anyone around here that has launched chemical weapons, but we didn't get a Nobel Peace Prize. But this guy thinks he should, even though chemical weapons went off in his country and hundreds of thousands of people are dead in a civil war in this country, and he still thinks he should get the Peace Prize. What a complete fool he is. I mean, come on guy, you can't be in the middle of a war and get a Peace Prize. Under the circumstances, you shouldn't even get an honorary mention in that sort of thing. It's ridiculous. So we're going to move on from one idiot shouting and stamping his feet and talk about something that's a bit more important. Like the Clangers coming back to television. I love the Clangers, they are amazing. I can't do the thing, I'm going to kind of do... It was a slide whistle that they used, and apparently it's coming back. I mean, sure, some of the guys that were involved have unfortunately died, but the ones that are still around, they're back involved, so it's going to be great. It's going to be like old times again. This is fantastic news. I'm a bit iffy on the idea of whether it's going to be computer generated or not, because I've seen the pictures from the computer generated wombles, and my goodness, they do not look good. So let's hope that they can do better with the Clangers, but either way, it's more Clangers, so yay! Now, one thing I wanted to talk about that is actually rather interesting is something that's going around on Reddit at the moment. It's a question and answer thing about, do people who are deaf from birth think in sign language? And the consensus appears to be that it's a very different thought process that develops in people who don't have spoken language as a possibility to them. So it's really not a case of anything similar to anything that a person who can actually hear and has learned a spoken language can think about. So it's not like, oh, do French people when they come and live in England long enough start thinking in English? Something to do, by the way. It's nothing like that. It's completely different, and this research has been going on about what people think about and how they think, and the whole thing is just rather fascinating. As someone who's having to learn sign language because they are listening, they're hearing, I think it's very, very interesting, but I think you guys will think it's interesting too, so do take a look at it. It's fascinating stuff. Speaking of another thing that's on Reddit, which I thought was hilarious, is this idea that hazel eyes change colour. And I can tell you straight off, I have hazel eyes. Sometimes they look green, sometimes they look brown. That basically depends on circumstances. They do not change colour, our perceptions of them change colour, but to a certain extent you can influence what colour they will look like by, for example, shining more light on you. If your pupils are constricted, whatever colour you've got in the middle and is therefore usually contracted up, that will get bigger and that will change the colour of their eye. Perceived colour anyway. The actual colours remain the same. Nothing changes. The pigmentation doesn't change, anything like that. So for example with me, if it's dark, my eyes are more likely to look a bit green. If it's bright, they'll look a bit more brown. And it's just about how big the iris is, and therefore of how much of the middle colour is actually there at the moment. That's just basically how it is. We don't change, we're not chameleons, we don't change our pigmentation on a whim. So that was interesting, kind of. Okay, anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today, so thank you very much for watching. If you did like this, remember to click a like button, share it with your friends so that they can see that the Clangers are coming back. Yay, I'm a big kid again. And do subscribe for future videos because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson. You've been watching the Knob Mouse Show, and I'll see you tomorrow.